teaching young people where their food comes from with art as the tool.
You get to see all the stuff that nature has made.
You can see some of the feathers down his legs, his stomach area, and his wings. Make sure the bird can get in and out of the water. Also make sure that no one's gonna pick on it.
I've been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, but I'm still Mike.
I always say not to compare the knowledge that we knew when our grandparents had it, because we've come a long way.
From 3 News Now and the Omaha World-Herald, this is Omaha Sunday Morning with Jennifer Griswold.
Good morning and thanks for joining us this Sunday. I'm Jennifer Griswold. The opportunity for redemption came thanks to a Veterans Court. The Douglas County Veterans Treatment Court held its first graduation this past week. For one mom, the journey started a couple of years ago with a letter concerned about her son, who was a veteran, getting in trouble without a way out. Reporter Jake Wazakowski explains what the court is and shows us how it's changing lives.
So ordered. Dismissed. The felony's gone.
Changing lives of those who served our country and deal with the lingering effects every day. 4 veterans graduate from the first Nebraska Veterans Treatment Court. The 18 to 24-month voluntary program helps veterans struggling with service-related addiction or mental health issues who have been charged with a felony.
Don't always just lock them up. Let's give them an opportunity to succeed. And that's what problem-solving courts are all about. It's the best thing we can do, not only for the offenders, but also the victims. Because if there's a victim, these folks have to make restitution and make it right for them.
Each with a unique story.
It brought the hope back to my life.
Of how they've turned themselves around.
And I really didn't even want to live anymore. Now I wake up every morning happy, and I look forward to going to do my day.
The graduates had their cases dismissed, received gold dog tags, and a flag to remember their journey.
It feels a little surreal. Yeah, it just feels a little surreal.
Justin Paulin says he served with the Marine Corps and was discharged because of PTSD. In 2016, he was charged with first-degree assault, facing 100 years in prison. He was worried he wouldn't see his daughter for the rest of his life. Through working with his mentor and recovery programs, he made the changes he needed.
I'm just proud of myself for making it through. I hope I'm, continue to make everyone who put so much effort forth before, laying the groundwork to allow me this opportunity. Hope I made them proud.
Paulin says he hasn't touched alcohol in 2 years and has clarity in his life.
It's just a lot more positive. A lot more positive. Everything's just a little bit brighter.
I'm happy.
There are currently 24 others going through the Veterans Treatment Program, and they hope to graduate in the near future. A special meet and greet for about 24 families impacted by pediatric cancer. The guitarist for the country band Sugarland made a pit stop Thursday to visit with some local patients. Thad Beatty, the guitarist, contacted Angels Among Us to see if there was a way the band could give back while here in town for their concert. The band hopes to reach out to fans along their tour route.
Every day and just do the next right thing. If we were just to kind of keep pushing on, if we were to realize that the tiniest act that we do for somebody else can impact more than you have ever had an idea of.
Angels Among Us is a Nebraska nonprofit that provides financial and emotional support to families whose children have been diagnosed with cancer, and such an important, great cause it is. Wonderful stop by him. Once people are diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, they may feel unable to live the life they wanted, but there are resources proving that doesn't have to be the case.
The painting.
Outside and in, you find beauty at the Eubanks Omaha home.
Something happened, the artist never finished it, so the silhouettes here are where the people would have been.
Outlines of people, a haze over them. At times, life for Mike Eubanks has imitated this art.
I felt like I was in a fog all the time. That feeling first thing in the morning when you wake up and you're just not quite, clear yet, still a little foggy from sleep. I felt like that all the time.
He may not fit the image you have of someone with Alzheimer's disease, but a few years ago, at the age of 58, he received that diagnosis.
It's not, you can't just give up.
Since then is that we really live today. If today's a good day, it's a good day. We don't know what tomorrow will bring. So we very much live in the now. We don't contemplate the future in the same way that probably a lot of people do.
Eubanks and his wife Deborah blog about their experiences with the disease. They recommend people talk about their diagnosis and find resources.
I always say not to compare of the knowledge that we knew about dementia when our grandparents had it, because we've come a long way.
Diane Hendricks is a social worker with Nebraska Medicine. She consults with the Alzheimer's Association and guides families and patients through their needs and concerns.
We say from here on out, even though you've come in and received the information about the test results, diagnosis, we want you to still live your best life.
Medication does not reverse the disease, but it has helped Eubanks regain some cognitive clarity to get out of the fog.
You know what? I've been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, but I'm still Mike.
He spends time enjoying, savoring life's beauty around him. There is no cure. Tomorrow is not known, but there is today.
I'm used to being out around people, and I thought, you know, I'm not going to sit home and die.
And the hope of bright days ahead.
Can't predict where the ball is going to go.
We have links to resources if you or your loved one has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, or if you believe someone you know is experiencing symptoms. That's on 3newsnow.com. A lot of people who grow up in cities and suburbs never get the chance to see what life is like out on the farm. A program aims to change that. What they hope families take away from a day on the farm and the special group that recently got to experience the Eggcam, next on Omaha Sunday Morning. Life on the farm is now about far more than just planting seeds and feeding animals, but many living in the city seldom get to experience that. A nonprofit is working to change that thanks to a new kind of camp, which shows off the scientific side of agriculture. Morning anchor James Johnson shows us how. I want to connect people together, and what do we want? We want new experiences together, and the farm gives that opportunity.
Come on in here.
One by one,
hi guys.
Families staying at the Ronald McDonald House are getting off the bus to attend an ag arts camp at Maple Edge Farm in Hastings, Iowa.
Teaching young people where their food comes from with art as the tool. Food is art, and art feeds the soul.
Everyone who comes to these camps learn how food is grown, about soil, and the benefits of eating herbs.
And you can even taste it.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
While tasting fresh produce from a garden.
So many things like cilantro, it lessens your anxiety. It kind of cleans out the metals in your body. Basil helps with your gut health. Growing your own herbs and putting it in your salsas or your salads really can help you feel good.
Coming to the farm is something many of these families look forward to. They are currently staying at the Ronald McDonald House, home away from home for families and their children needing medical care.
The other one smelled better than this one.
9-year-old Jimena Perez has a brother undergoing surgery and says it's nice to get out of the hospital for a bit.
I'm excited to see like the animals and like how they live, because it's cool about nature, because you get to see all the stuff that like nature has made.
Campers can also express themselves.
It's a shaping.
Tim Berry from Hot Shops Art Center
thinning.
Explains how different soil could be used to make all sorts of things.
It does spark everybody's curiosity, you know, because we're taking this material that most people, you know, don't understand, don't know what it is. From the first day I saw somebody throw a pot on the wheel, I was mesmerized.
And it's sparking that interest, the nonprofit says, is crucial to our well-being.
Kids and families need time out here, and it has a strong healing power.
After an extremely wet June with over 6 inches of rain in Omaha, July is looking much drier. Today will be a little more seasonal with highs in the 80s. The rest of the week heats up with afternoon highs back in the 90s. That means July 4th is going to be a hot one. There is a slight chance we could see some rain this week, but overall the week ahead looks mainly hot and dry. Here's a look at the viral videos that made us smile. A police dog in Madrid didn't hesitate to save the life of an agent during a practice drill. Look at this video that had social media going crazy. Madrid police posted it. Pancho, the police dog, shows off at a heroic performance as he comes to the rescue of an officer who fake collapses. You can see Pancho jumping up and down on the chest of the officer, performing CPR. Incredible, such a smart little guy there. This next one is great too. They rid the city of crime, and they also rid hospital windows of grime while putting a smile on the faces of some sick children. Employees from Larry's Window Cleaning Service are changing into their secret identities of Captain America, Batman, Spider-Man, and Daredevil, rappelling down Blank Children's Hospital in Des Moines, Iowa, and cleaning the windows there. And of course, entertaining the patients. They say it's a regular event they like to do for the kids. Oh, love that. Most American boys know the terms of baseball, the rules of football, and the basics of soccer, but lacrosse? How a community group is teaching the sport to teens in hopes of giving them a positive outlet and possibly showing them a way to reach college dreams. A local program is teaching young people about the importance of respect, responsibility, and teamwork through sports. North Star is an after-school program here in Omaha that connects junior high and high school boys with sports like lacrosse in hopes of providing an outlet for its students and maybe to help pave the way for opportunities in college. Omaha World-Herald visual journalist Rebecca Gratz shows us more of this team in the making.
Once I scored my first goal, I was like, yeah, this is my sport right here. I was like, I like this.
North Star has been in place and welcoming young men after school, nights, weekends, and summer. We were looking for a sport that was something we could introduce that they would never have otherwise been exposed to or had a chance to participate in. And the Omaha lacrosse community really was our first call.
Yeah, baby, yeah! Yeah, baby, yeah! I didn't even know about this sport, really. I never heard of lacrosse until Scott came to me and said, hey, I have this new lacrosse team, do you want to play? And I was like, sure, I'll play. But I never heard of lacrosse. I didn't even know it was a sport. Well, I play football normally, so I like to hit. And then I like to score. And when you combine those two, best game ever. I want to go for a scholarship. I want the colleges to hit me up. Come on, I'm doing my work, turn it in. Just put an extra grade.
We're excited that we're building within our youth an asset of an experience that they've had that they can share with others that might lead them to a conversation that will create an opportunity for a job or might create, to be honest with you, an opportunity for a college scholarship, because there are actually more lacrosse scholarships available based on the number of lacrosse players in the Midwest than there are basketball.
See the ball, be the ball. Caddyshack.
And so for us to be able to connect the dots so that our students might have an opportunity to walk in and to compete for a scholarship at a school they'd never thought of because lacrosse was the hook, is an exciting chance for us to build their capacity to see their options as greater than they might have without that sport.
I'm passing the whole game. I got one goal. I have one goal. You know, I could have scored like 5 right now.
When our students walk out onto the lacrosse field for a practice or for a game, they walk a little taller. They walk a little prouder. And they also have, remember the day when there was not success on the field, and yet they stuck through it. So those pieces of the puzzle really are the things that then again, we hope they'll carry with them long after lacrosse.
Ready? North Star, 1, 2, 3, North Star!
It was a rough, frustrating first few weeks of games.
You guys gotta want that. Hey, attack!
And then something happened in, I think it was probably week 4 or week 5, where they started to pick up on some of the fundamentals of the game that we'd been teaching for a number of weeks leading up to that. And once they got some confidence and they realized that, oh, I know how to catch, I know how to pass, the tide turned very, very quickly. And they started having fun, and it's just been the way it's been around ever since.
Right here, dude. Like a little league.
I'm pretty excited to hear that some of these kids, that's their goal for college, is they want to play college lacrosse. I do think that there's a few of them that do have a shot if they keep doing what they're doing.
It's frustrating at first because I'm not used to playing a sport with just a stick and a super small ball. And then running so much in such a far distance, you gotta get used to it, but it's worth it. We're all trying to get better. We all have the same years of experience, so it's not like one person is way better than the next. So we just got to keep working together.
Yep, that's you. Yeah, Lamar.
D. Get that ball, defense.
You know, we struggled to field a team in that first year, and now we have kids coming out left and right asking if they can be part of the North Star Lacrosse program, and it was a tribute to that first team that basically created the legacy here at North Star for lacrosse.
1, 2, 3, North Star!
So many important life lessons learned on the field. Cybersecurity is a lucrative field with a lot of job openings, and Nebraska teachers now have the tools to guide students down that career path. We take you to the Gen Cyber Camp. It's a rapidly growing field. Right now, there are more than 260,000 cybersecurity jobs open across the country. To get students ready for these jobs, teachers attended a 2-week-long Nebraska Gen Cyber Camp. Emily Zink looks at what they did and how it could help their students prepare for the future.
Recently, about a dozen area teachers got a lesson in cybersecurity at UNO.
I already had thought this was a phishing attempt.
It's hard to spot, but an I in this phony First National email is really a lowercase l.
It's an L.
That's how phishing emails work. Criminals pretend to be legitimate companies looking to get sensitive info from you.
And so we were learning about actually how to read a URL correctly.
Paul Wright, a web design teacher at Bennington High School, says this is helpful info he could share with his students come fall.
We help them, take that content and relate it to their curriculum, build lesson plans, stuff like that.
Matt Hale, the Nebraska Gen Cyber program director, says learning to be a good digital citizen is another lesson taught at camp. Wright says he's always reiterating this to his students.
You leave a footprint. So anytime you go surf the web, you go post something on Instagram, Snapchat, you're leaving a footprint of who you are and where you're going and what you're doing.
This interactive game about online safety involved a series of tasks.
And more clues.
Solving clues helped the teachers get inside their lockbox.
Oh, I see.
They say they're most excited.
Well, do you see a pattern here?
To bring the game back to the classroom.
Something that I think the kids are going to love. It's challenging and it's competitive.
Hale says on top of them getting great teaching tools, he hopes the teachers' newfound excitement about cybersecurity transfers to their students.
Congratulations, you saved our city.
Woo, we're done.
Oh my gosh.
I want to see kids smile, and I want to see kids hyped up and interested in what we do here and what they can do in a career that they might not have even conceived of before. Aha. Got one, Rowan.
The first week of this free camp is just for teachers. Week 2, students join the teachers at camp. Omaha Sunday Morning continues after this with a look at a massive makeover project across the river in Council Bluffs. They called it the Dream Playground, but for many in Council Bluffs, it's been a dream deferred. But that's all about to change as a community effort is giving an old playground a much-needed facelift. Reporter Vandra Caldwell takes a look at the rebuilding.
It's lived its life, it's served its purpose.
After years of wear and tear and countless splinters, Lake Manawa State Park's Dream Playground is now getting a facelift.
The idea behind this is it's teamwork, it's community. We want anyone and everyone to come down here and be able to use this park.
It's 100% community-based, community-funded, and community-built.
We followed the same process that we did in 1992 and 93. We hired the same designer firm. We went into the schools and talked to the kids to get their ideas of what they wanted, just as we did 25 years ago.
The new design is inspired by 1,700 drawings by Council Bluffs Elementary School students. This time around, the park will be accessible to all.
And you look around it today and you see all this sand, a child that's on a wheelchair is not going to be able to walk around and do anything. So we're going to have actually elements where, they'll be able to go right up to it, hook up in their wheelchairs, and be able to use it.
The design is new.
When you say Dream Playground, everyone thinks about these big kind of fort-style towers.
But the park will preserve a piece of history dreamt by young designers 25 years ago.
When we get these things up, they're going to have new colors on them. They're going to look brand new. And it's going to really, set itself apart from what it was in the past.
2 years in the making, those involved say it will be well worth the wait come July.
When we get this done, this will be a monument for our community. It'll be something that will draw folks from everywhere to come check out Lake Manawa and also see the Dream Playground reimagined.
It looks very cool. A new mobile food truck is cooking up dishes for the less fortunate. Table Grace Ministries just celebrated its grand opening of the Mobile Grace Cafe. On Saturday at the Bellevue Farmers Market, it served up a meal regardless of the customer's ability to pay.
It's really trying to bridge the socioeconomic gap, bringing people from different places together in one restaurant and giving people the opportunity to volunteer if they don't have money or just give what they can.
Table Grace Cafe is located near 16th and Farnham. There is no cash register at the restaurant. Instead, it's funded by donations. Incredible idea. The restaurant biz can be a tough one, long hours and lots of competition, but an Omaha family has been serving up a recipe that customers love for 65 years. The secrets of success at La Casa, a place with an inviting, laid-back atmosphere and crowd-pleasing pizza on the menu. Decades of hard work through 4 generations. The owners of La Casa Pizzeria aren't exactly sure why their grandfather got in the pizza-making business, but more than half a century later, families all over Omaha are glad he did. Reporter Jake Wazakowski shares their anniversary of success and what keeps them growing.
For 65 years, La Casa Pizzeria has been feeding generations of families Neapolitan-style pies.
They have excellent pizza.
And indulgent pastas.
I like to eat.
Along with the iconic sign Pepe.
A lot of people, that's how they identify us. He's definitely our mascot.
They're celebrating their 65th anniversary at 45th and Leavenworth. Dawn Clark says it's a family tradition for her to go with her mother and 4-year-old granddaughter.
I've been coming a long time, all of my adult life, and just the food and the atmosphere.
When I was a little baby, I used to come over here and I ate spaghetti and I used to put spaghetti sauce on my face.
La Casa opened in 1953 and is now in their 4th generation of ownership, priding themselves on their family atmosphere.
That's the thing that's probably the most exciting, and the thing that we like to hear is people that remember coming here when they were young and now they're bringing their kids or their grandkids here. We've been around long enough that we've seen generations of families come through as customers.
At a time when we've seen a number of traditional Omaha restaurants close, La Casa continues to find new ways to grow and new ways to get their tradition, their family tradition, to new customers. They've had a food truck now for 5 years. They ship hundreds of pizzas a year around the country, and their cousin is set to open a new location near 168th and Pacific.
As far as our success, I think our philosophy has always been, to continue to do the best job that we can with what we are known for. To not try to be somebody else other than who we are, but by the same token, look at other opportunities to grow. Because if you're not trying to move forward, eventually things get very stagnant.
La Casa wants to thank the community for all their support over the last 65 years and say they'll continue to do what they do best.
We plan to be here, so I'm not going anywhere for a while, so.
And it really is tasty pizza. The new La Casa will be just like the others, same pizza, same pasta, the same recipes. The new location will be more than double the size of their Grover location and will also have an outdoor patio. A new restaurant in North Omaha is already getting high marks from customers. Emrys Cafe opened in the Fair Deal Village a couple of weeks ago near 24th and Lake, replacing the Fair Deal Cafe. The new restaurant specializes in Southern-style cuisine. Owner Diamond Sims says a family experience shaped what we now know as Emrys Cafe.
Well, over the last few years, I lost my grandparents, and I usually have Sunday dinner with them. I miss that feeling, so there's nowhere in Omaha, Nebraska I can go and get that, so I decided to open up Emrys Cafe with my grandparents' recipe.
And Sim says a lot of her recipes are borrowed from family members. She's hoping other entrepreneurs follow her lead by bringing more economic development along the 24th Street corridor. Her grit, humor, generosity, and delicious donuts made her a beloved Midtown fixture for decades. Gerda Bailey died just a few weeks ago. Her mission before she passed was to make sure she had someone in place to take over her namesake bakery and restaurant. Omaha World-Herald visual journalist Ryan Soderlund shows us she served more than just food and why she will always be remembered.
Hey, buddy. We just got back.
And if you ever come in here and meet Gerda, you'll want to come back again and again because she's one of the greatest ladies you ever run around. I know her health is not that good, but I hope she sticks around for a long time.
$1. Thank you.
The special thing is that she's so genuine, and she really loves and cares about her customers, and she really loves what she does. She loves to kind of joke around with the customers, and that makes a connection.
Just can't stay away from the place.
It's like she's like a mother to you. You know, she treats everybody, you know, like their kids, and it's a homey atmosphere, and you know, and she's got some great food and stuff, and you know, good place to eat.
I come back because I enjoy in the mornings the rolls, coffee, and the people that come in here.
But she's really kind of a staple that's been around for 40 years, and if you say Gerda's, people know what you're talking about. They don't have to ask. She is tough, she is strong, she is smart, she is very caring and giving. She is a little firecracker inside of that German body.
I just think it would be devastating to lose a place like this. There's so few of them left in this city, and it just would be a sad, sad day.
And it looks like that legacy will keep living on. Think young, act young, keep breathing. The secrets of life from a 95-year-old man who hits the golf course every single day. And it's not just to work on his own swing. The amazing connection he has with kids and how he improves the course along the way. You just have to meet Robert Walls, and he will next on Omaha Sunday Morning. We all probably know an older man who likes to golf, but trust me, he's not like Robert Walls. His devotion to the game, the greens, and kids goes beyond the links and straight into hearts. Omaha World-Herald visual journalist Megan McGill introduces us to a senior who might inspire you to get up and go.
I'm going to do this until the day I die. And if I die on the golf course, I'll be happy. I'm Robert M. Walls. I'm 95 years old. I play 2 or 3 rounds of golf every day. I stay busy. I'm not the type of person that can go sit down in front of the TV. So I've got a 54-degree wedge that I'm going to practice with today. It frustrates most people. Golf, if I play a bad round, it doesn't frustrate me. It's a game. And when you play games, you're supposed to have fun.
Ms. Walls can go out here right now and hit a ball on the green, no problem whatsoever. 80% of folks that tee off on #1 tee cannot hit the green. Religiously, he's here every single day, filling in the divots and telling us what needs to be done, of course, to make the course, like we say, the best kept secret in Omaha. So he's invaluable to us. And to be a volunteer on top of it says quite a bit about it.
Now usually I do 4 buckets. I do everything I can to keep it looking good. This sand is already dry and it's mixed with grass seed.
Doesn't matter whether it's 70 degrees or 107. He's out here daily just doing his daily task, as he calls them.
When you sit down all day, every day, you deteriorate, and I don't want to deteriorate. And I like doing this. I get to play golf free. That's good.
He is, without a doubt, one of the best mentors that we could have as adults.
Think young, act young, keep breathing.
But more so, teaching the kids. Kids are just amazed that he's, and we don't even tell them how old he is. Kids are amazed that he can teach them like the stroke like he does. He is a godsend for all of us, to be quite honest with you.
You have to turn your hips. Yeah. There you go.
I can't tell you the number of times I heard, I hope I'm able to play like that when I'm that age.
Just press a button and go.
Or what, even half that age, you know. He's 95 years old. I see a lot of folks 75, 74, 70 that aren't anywhere near as in good shape as he is. Not discounting what they do, but he is just one phenomenal young man.
Every day, I'm out here trying something different to get better. I just love it here. I could spend all day, every day, because when I get through talking to you, I'm going to go play some more golf.
I still can't believe he's 95. He's absolutely amazing. The College World Series has come and gone. On Thursday night, the Oregon State Beavers were crowned the champions, beating Arkansas 5-0 in Game 3. This is Oregon State's third national title, winning back-to-back in 2006 and 2007. Don't think I'd want to be on the bottom of that dog pile right there. Ouch, look at those guys jumping on top. Before this year's College World Series, Arkansas's last appearance in the CWS Finals came way back in 1979, nearly 40 years ago. The team played for its first ever national title. Sports reporter Ben Stevens introduces us to one Arkansas couple who made the trip to the Big O to celebrate their 35th wedding anniversary, as they hope to celebrate a title with the Razorbacks.
The Satterfields met on campus in Fayetteville back in the early 1980s and now have the sign to prove it here at TD Ameritrade Park. Keith was actually a sophomore at Arkansas the last time the Razorbacks were in the CWS Finals back in 1979. So when the Hogs clinched this year's berth last Friday night by beating the defending national champs Florida, the Satterfields knew they had to get their tickets and head to Omaha for the final series.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, this whole season has been fantastic for the team, and when we realized they were going to be in the finals and it was our wedding anniversary, we just said we got to go. There's something kismet, there's some chemistry, there's something going on there about that day and this team.
All I could think of is we're going to the ship, man. We were going to the ship. It was great and it's been fun. And everybody we've met, I mean, y'all are great here. I mean, I think you're Southern.
So many great fans in town. People in Omaha looked to the sky in awe recently as they saw a blimp flying overhead, but a bird at the zoo had a much different reaction. Where it wound up when it flew the coop and the other animal that alerted zoo officials to Cayenne's location. When Omaha Sunday Morning continues. A bird that flew the coop at the Henry Dorley Zoo is back at home, safe. The Goodyear blimp was flying over the area and startled the macaw, causing it to fly away. The zoo sprung into action, asking the public to help find the bird. Reporter Megan Stewart explains how they tracked her down.
You wouldn't think that a large red bird would be hard to see in a tree full of green leaves, but it is a little bit harder.
This is a picture of Cayenne. She's a macaw, a type of parrot. Zoo officials say she was participating in a routine bird show yesterday, where she would fly into the air and through the crowd. But this time, that's not what happened.
There appeared to be a bit of a fear response from her when she was startled by the blimp that was flying pretty close to the zoo. That was in town for the College World Series, and she went the opposite direction. And she flew a lot further than she normally does into an area that she was not familiar with.
Zoo staff says she initially flew so far it was out of their range. They asked for the public's help in finding her, fearing she could be as far south as Bellevue. But tips from the public put them on the right path.
We're actually noticing some unusual activity from a squirrel. He seemed really agitated, so we saw the squirrel really yelling at something and started to investigate a little bit further, and Cayenne flew out of that tree.
Zoo staff called her back home, and now Cayenne is back with her sister.
She was happy. She just kind of sat right next to her sister and started munching on some snacks.
The zoo says because she's a free-flying bird, they won't be doing anything differently the next time she performs, but they say they will be more aware of potential stressors. The once missing macaw isn't the only zoo resident getting all the attention. Another baby is now on display at the zoo, a king penguin. It's still too young to tell if it's male or female. Reporter Stephanie Nolte was there when the chick was brought into its new habitat Thursday morning.
See the other birds running up?
You see that chick?
Everyone's excited to greet the new chick.
You can see some of the feathers down like his legs, his stomach area, and his wings. Almost all of the down is off of his wings.
As cute as this chick is, at 4 months old, it weighs almost as much as an adult, 30 pounds.
If you imagine a snuggly baby, this guy's not snuggly compared to others that we've had. So is I think, ready to go off on their own.
Keepers raised this chick right next to the exhibit so it could hear and smell the same things. For now, it will be kept in the playpen for its own safety until it loses all of its down feathers, because down gets really heavy when it's wet.
You can imagine swimming lessons is very similar. We'll have keepers on standby just to kind of watch, make sure the bird can get in and out of the water, also make sure that no one's going to pick on him because we don't want that to happen.
This chick gets special treatment because it's genetically valuable. It's the first chick its parents have had together. Keeping the birds genetically diverse helps make sure penguins will still be here even 100 years down the line.
And those kids are so cute watching all of the penguins. Still ahead on Omaha Sunday Morning, editorial cartoonist Jeff Katurba talks turkey, democracy, and our freedom as we approach Independence Day. Stay with us. And finally this week, Omaha World-Herald editorial cartoonist Jeff Katurba is talking fireworks, but a different kind. He's talking turkey and democracy.
I'm Jeff Katurba. I am the editorial cartoonist for the Omaha World-Herald. It's that time of year, you know, when we celebrate independence and democracy with fireworks and barbecues and more fireworks. So what was I doing recently, drawing a turkey? I mean, it's not even close to Thanksgiving. I generally try to avoid puns in my cartoons, but this one seemed too perfect to pass up, especially when the president of a country known for putting democracy in the danger zone is reelected. Recently, that's exactly what happened in the country of Turkey. President Erdogan won re-election, which wasn't exactly a win for freedom. How bad are things in Turkey? The country is now the biggest jailer of journalists in the world. Let that sink in. So while I might have had a little fun drawing this off-season turkey, I also use a symbol that's synonymous with democracy. And yes, I realize that the bald eagle often represents the United States, but then had Ben Franklin had his way, the turkey would have been our nation's symbol. Actually, that's kind of a myth, mostly fake news. But here's the bigger point. Symbols come and go, but the effects of a president, dictator, crushing democracy can last years, decades, or even longer. So I hope this Independence Day, we in the United States can celebrate our freedoms no matter what we throw on the barbecue. You know, a burger, a brat, or even a turkey.
That's all for this week. Thanks for watching Omaha Sunday Morning, and we'll see you back here next week.